Thank you for that, Shawan. That investigation from Amravati continues to be our top focus. On the ground, sting tapes, conversations, CCTV videos, raising some very uncomfortable questions tonight, and that's a burning question. Let's get started.
Burning Question, presented by Nissan Magnite, powered by Century Ply, GeoMart and Sharda University.
New videos of the Amravati murder emerge, killers spotted in every CCTV sequence. Republic exposes the threat caller. He admits over 30 to 40 threat calls were made to Amravati victim Umesh Kole. Republic speaks to one of the close friends of Yusuf Khan, the accused, who describes Yusuf as contacted by the mastermind and then shared Umesh Kole's details. So people who knew Umesh shared his details. They gave him away to the killers. Kerala minister belittles the constitution, says it was formed to aid the rich. Pinarayi government won't take any action. Debate over the provocative smoking Kali poster continues. Multiple FIRs now registered against the filmmaker. Even before the barbaric killing of Umesh Kole, the chemist in Amravati, Maharashtra, Republic, through its investigation, has learned that the chemist had received about 30 to 40 threat calls. One of the threat callers even admitted on tape that he had called Kole. With clincher CCTV videos, exclusive sting tapes, and the tapes on record, can radicalization and a larger plot now be ignored? Can anyone now say it was not a cover-up? For over 10 days, they tried to hide the truth. Here's why.
Umesh Kole, a chemist from Amravati, was brutally killed on June 21st. Republic's team on ground has found that multiple calls were possibly made to threaten Umesh. Republic confronted one of the callers named Shakil.
तो एक्चुअली मेरे मोबाइल से ये गलती हो गई कि जैसे मैंने मेरे मोबाइल पे फोन लगा के ये बोल दिया, हाँ, क्या भाई आपने जो धर्म के खिलाफ जो स्टेटस रखे थे, मैंने बोला हाँ, तो वो कैसा निकाल दो, मैंने बोला कैसा इससे जाति वाती वातावरण थोड़ा सा खराब हो सकता, मैंने बोला जैसा नक्शा नक्की आ सकती है हिंदू मुसलमान में ऐसे रखेंगे तो.
Republic has also accessed CCTV footage from the time that Umesh Kole was attacked and stabbed. The murder, the preparation, and the escape. Now the case has been handed over to the National Investigation Agency.
इनकी उधारी भी थी यूसुफ की.
हाँ.
यूसुफ को किसी का फोन आया मास्टरमाइंड का. फिर उन्होंने प्लानिंग की. इनकी.
यूसुफ को फोन आया पर?
फोन आया अंदर.
पक्का?
पक्का बिल्कुल.
इरफान शेख का. तो क्या बोला उसने?
होगा ना. बाद में फिर यूसुफ ने किया प्लान. ग्रुप में कौन है? देखो ये कांड कैसे हुआ, उसकी उधारी तो थी,
पर उसने दूसरे के कंधे पे रख के
नुपुर शर्मा का. नुपुर शर्मा के मैटर में इसने उधारी कन्वर्ट कर डाली. पैसे भी इसके डूब जाएंगे और ये भी काम हो जाएंगे.
So why is that these facts have emerged only 14 days after the murder? Was there an attempt to play down the reality and a possible conspiracy so far? Let's debate.
And joining us on the burning question this evening, let's introduce our panelist. Binay Singh, political analyst, will be joining us live. Professor Sangeet Ragi, political analyst, also joining us on the show this evening, along with Sujata Pandey, political analyst, along with Majid Haidari, journalist, political analyst, Dr. Piyush Joshi, and Vijay Krishna. Let me start with Sujata, and then I'll go across to Vijay Krishna. Or Majid can take that question. Sujata, we did this investigation today. And in the investigation, my colleague Priyanka speaks to one of the people who made the threat call. So there is this WhatsApp group called Freedom something. It's called some Freedom something, and you know,
Black Freedom.
Black Freedom, correct.
It's called Black Freedom.
Black Freedom.
And
Black Freedom.
Rahbar. And Rahbar.
Yeah. And it appears that, and one of the people who made those calls, you know, because those chats are with us, we tracked down the people on that group, we called some of them, and one of them, whose name is Shakil, admits to calling Umesh Kole days before he was murdered, saying that at least 30 to 40 threat calls went out. Different people, he says, who he knew made threat calls to Umesh Kole. Now my question is, if all of this is evidenced and it's there, then why is it that we are in denial about this cover-up in the case? What are we trying to hide about the Umesh Kole case? Sujata and Majid can respond.
So that's not only the question. I will add up to a few more questions from my side, and then I'll try to explain you that why all this happened. Also, you know, there was no media outrage. 21st, Umesh's throat got slit, you know, and 21st he got murdered. 23rd, the killer got arrested. Still, no outrage, no media news, nothing, absolutely. See, Amravati is not like Bombay or Delhi. People know each other. People knew about these radicalization in the city. People knew about the WhatsApp group. People also knew that several people were receiving threat calls, and still people kept quiet and builded a theory of robbery or something when his entire belongings were still intact. And Niranjan, one other question. If the police can access the CCTV now, the school CCTV, which shows how the killers planned this entire murder before two failed attempts on Umesh, why was the police sleeping all this while? Was it not because probably it was MVA government which had a history of Palghar lynching and keeping quiet on it, shutting people on the Hanuman Chalisa and calling Aurangzeb and Tipu as someone as a Rashtranayak something? Was it happening because there was another government which is because of the Congress government, because of its allies government, which believed in the vote bank politics and the appeasement, and only after the change of guards, only after the government change, everything else came out. So and so that we thought that Amravati incident happened after Udaipur. It happened before.
Can I come in?
And it was all kept under the carpet. Why?
Now let me explain why.
Niranjan,
can I speak now?
Serious doubt on the intentions of the government. I failed, and I refuse to believe that if police is wanted, police could not nab the real intention and why this entire thing happened, because this entire thing was based upon the supporting Nupur Sharma and PM Modi post on social media.
Yes, Majid.
Why should we not question that the radicalization elements
Niranjan, what we firstly need to understand is that our basic... Madam, now can I speak? See, Niranjan, what we essentially need to understand is that our collective Bharatiya belief is that Panch ke muh se Parmeshwar bolta hai. And the Panch and the Parmeshwar, as of now, happens to be Honorable Supreme Court. When Honorable Supreme Court slammed Nupur, it was not an individual being slammed, it was the ideology being slammed.
But we are living in an era of so much... Supreme Court
I want you to focus on...
It is linked to ideology. We have such an ideology in the country at the moment that Honorable Supreme Court judges are...
No, one minute. Majid, can I request you not to... You know, Majid, 1 minute. You know, I think you're getting a little confused, Majid, because... don't talk about ideology. You know what the NIA has said in its FIR? Okay, let me read that out for you. It's in the case of Udaipur. Let me read that out for you. Let me get all our panelists on the screen. And let me read out some excerpts of the NIA FIR on Udaipur, okay? It says the assailants circulated the video of the murder of Sri Kanhaiya Lal Teli on social media with assertion promoting enmity on religious ground and to create panic and terror amongst the masses across the country. That's Udaipur. Okay? In the case of Amravati, 1 minute, I have not completed my...
An Honorable Supreme Court is Temple of Justice.
I'm asking you, 1 minute. See, anything I say, don't jump to the Supreme Court. Okay? We all respect the Supreme Court. I'm talking about the investigation on the ground. Okay? There are people who admit making threat calls, 30 to 40 calls. I'm wondering, 1 minute.
But why should we discuss it 14 days after the incident? Every day
Exactly.
we have 18
Yeah,
murders.
thank you for asking. Yeah, 14 days. Yeah, fantastic question.
One murder being discussed
Fantastic
for the last
question.
So many days.
Fantastic
Why
question.
are we hurting the sentiments of the
Fantastic question.
Let them
No, 1 minute.
Let them not dig their wounds. What are we doing as of now? This is no justice with the family, bereaved family.
Why are we discussing? Why
We
the
are
case
rubbing
was
salt
not
on their
for
wounds.
10 days?
Let's close
Why
the
there was
Really?
no outrage?
Let's not take its
Why
own
there was no
course.
report of it that it was based on Nupur Sharma's post and the WhatsApp group, the radicalized elements in the society who belong to a particular community and who also
Madam, it's
become
nothing to do with
are the
community.
one
Okay,
that-
you know, it's not about a community. I don't think it's about a community.
It has to be seen through the
No,
prism of
yeah.
crimes taking
No,
place.
no, 1
in the
minute.
country, 80 murders every day.
Majid, see, I don't want to
We
get
have
into.
some 30,000
I
murders
request all our
taking place
panelists.
in our
1 minute.
country.
Justify
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. You know, 1 minute.
Are you justifying
See, let's debate. 1 minute. Let's debate. Let's debate the facts.
Killings, etc.
Sujata, 1 minute. Sujata, 1 minute. Sujata, 1 minute. Pull back. All of you pull back. See, I request all our panelists. I want to discuss the facts of the case, what we know so far. And I request each of our panelists also not to generalize or to
Then
talk
why
about a
should we
community.
discuss it today?
Majid,
Why
1
should we
minute.
discuss it
No,
today?
1
What
minute.
is the
Majid, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why we should
Please
discuss.
enlighten the nation.
Okay, Majid, I'll tell you why we discuss. No, good question.
Something and rubbing salt on the wounds
1
of
minute.
bereaved family
Okay, 1
members.
minute. 1 minute. I'll tell you why we should discuss it. I'll tell you why we should discuss it. I'll tell you why we should discuss it. Have some patience, okay? Okay? For 11 days, when all of this evidence was available, there was an attempt to hide the facts of the case. There were threat calls made for at least 7 to 10 days before he was eventually murdered. And I'm talking about Umesh Kole. Okay? You are asking, why are we debating about 14-15 days? Great question. Why did nobody know the truth for at least 11 to 12 days? Can you please explain that? You ask Vijay Krishna. Vijay Krishna on last day of the cabinet meeting in Maharashtra, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, took some great decisions on Hindutva, citing Hindutva on Aurangabad and Osmanabad. Why did, for 12 days after Umesh Kole's murder, nobody spoke about the truth? Can you please tell me? Because Majid Adri is asking, why are we actually debating this issue after 11 to 12 days? Dear sir, we didn't even know it happened. Did you know that, Vijay Krishna? No, my question is to Vijay Krishna. No, you're asking a question. Why are we debating? Let Vijay Krishna respond.
Have we belittled the domain of NIA to hate crimes? Now, what will NIA do with this? Everywhere you bring in NIA, wherever you have a...
May I be allowed, sir?
Yeah, Vijay Krishna.
Wrong, all the way wrong.
No, my name is Niranjan and Niranjan here. Vijay, why don't you?
Please.
Yeah, Vijay Krishna and then Sangeet Ragi is coming in.
Niranjan ji, I'd like to remind you of Amravati Police Commissioner Arthik Singh, who said that it was a blind case and that initially they could not get the details as it happened in the late night, and over the period of investigation that they came to know that it was a murder because the slain Umesh Kole shared a post in support of Nupur Sharma. And what I am saying is that I don't want to blame anyone about the government or any other chief minister, but it happened in Amravati, and even after receiving 40 threat calls, slain Umesh Kole should have actually registered a police complaint. And I'm saying that as a Shiv Sena supporter, as a Shiv Sainik, we are with the government, and all the culprits should be punished. And it is already under NIA investigation, and we fully cooperate with the government, whatever action they take against its culprits. And here I do not want to mince the words. And if any error found with Aarti Singh's statements, let there be disciplinary action against Aarti Singh's statements, because
no blind case. Do you Sangeet Ragi?
Goes on killing Hindus, and how can they...
Let me get in, Sangeet Ragi, on what you just said. Do you believe that it was a blind case with so much of digital evidence coming out? Sangeet Ragi, was it really a blind case?
No. Niranjan, the spokesperson of the Shiv Sena, deliberately, avoiding the answer. The answer is very simple and very linear. The answer is that the Uddhav Thackeray government wanted to cover this incident. The explosion of this incident would have accentuated the feeling of hate which was increasing among
let us not
Hindus
politicize this issue,
against
sir.
Shiv Sena.
The entire country is
Though
behind Umesh
I'm telling you, that would have, you know, the Shiv Sena in last 2.5 years. Gentlemen, you please.
Vijay Krishna, let him
Please,
speak.
sir,
He didn't interrupt you when you were speaking. He didn't interrupt you. Vijay, don't do this. He did not interrupt you when you spoke.
Allow me, sir.
He didn't remind you when you spoke. He didn't interrupt you when you spoke.
You were.
Hold on.
That is why it was called that it was not Shiv Sena which was actually ruling Maharashtra state. It was NCP and the Congress party which used to dictate terms to Uddhav Thackeray. And they were not allowing Uddhav Thackeray to pursue Hindu agenda. Even if the Hindus are being killed, massacred, Hindu identity is crushed under Shiv Sena government, under the leadership of Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray was helpless. He was not just to pursue power, just to continue in power. He was tolerating all these things. So this is simple thing that he wanted to hide all these things. He wanted to put a cover on it so that it could not come out of it in the public notice, because then it would have been a public outrage. And remember, this was the time when a group of Shiv Sena had deserted Uddhav Thackeray. That would have accentuated the feeling, similar feelings would have accentuated in the minds of the rest Shiv Sena legislators, 14 or 15 who were supporting Uddhav Thackeray, that yes, what Eknath Shinde is saying against Uddhav Thackeray is a legitimate, it would have legitimized what Shinde, the Shinde group was talking against Shiv Sena. So this is my interpretation, that it was you know, just a deliberate design on part of Uddhav Thackeray to cover up it, so that it is not blamed for, so that its image doesn't get further dented.
Now I don't know why Marginality is nodding.
The lamb story to witch hunt Uddhav Thackeray. The NIA has been brought in to witch hunt Uddhav Thackeray, and that is it. That is the crux of the story.
And how are you coming to that conclusion, sir? And how are you coming to that conclusion? Can I remind you when the story broke?
It was the compulsion of Uddhav Thackeray, because Uddhav Thackeray was already losing the ground.
Sangeet Ragi,
Uddhav Thackeray was losing the power in the state. He knew it very well that he doesn't carry the majority now. And his
one minute.
Are just, you know, counted on fingers.
Before you speak about a tiger.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I'm not talking about.
He's a wounded tiger. Mind it.
No, 1 minute. This debate is not about Uddhav Thackeray, for God's sake. Okay, this debate is about Umesh Kohli.
I'm sorry to say, gentlemen, he is not Balasaheb.
Okay, 1 minute.
He is not tiger.
Let's not debate. Let's not debate.
He is not tiger.
1 minute. Sangeet Ragi, the debate is not about. Please don't hijack the debate. It's not about Uddhav Thackeray. It's not. Okay, it's about Umesh Kohli. Okay. And before I get to to the next part of the debate, I have an audio tape. Yeah, okay, Binay wants to come in. Okay, Binay, come in with Dr. Piyush Joshi and I'll play. I have a tape with me. It's a 2-minute tape. You hear him. This is one of the persons who made the threat call. Okay? It's an audio call. I'll play that out. But I want to bring in Binay Singh. Binay Singh, tell me, if 40 people, okay, if 30 to 40 threat calls are going out, and there are people who are reportedly from an NGO, okay? And in Udaipur, you've seen what has happened. It happens 5 days before Udaipur, by the way. Amravati happened 5 days before Udaipur, right? And there are groups that are involved, okay? I don't know why we are in denial about radicalization. I repeat, radicalization.
Niranjan, any state, not just Maharashtra or Rajasthan, the state has a responsibility to implement law and order without bias. But in Udaipur, what has happened? They have tried to ignore the issue because a complaint was made 1 week ago. And in Amravati, what happened? They tried to divert the issue, that it is a case of dacoity or loot. But there was ample evidence that no, it is something else. It has terror links. It may be a terror a thing. So the state machinery they tried to divert the issue in Amravati, and as a citizen, as a part of this wonderful democracy, I feel very upset. If the state has a bias, so as a citizen it upsets me, Niranjan. And there was ample evidence, and yes, there were political reasons. The reason of appeasement was there. The reason of appeasement for a particular community was there, that they tried to cover up a terrorist act and to brand it as a simple criminal incident. So this is what it is very disturbing. If the state will have such kind of bias and they try to cover the terrorist, activities, so what will be the fate of this country?
Yeah.
We are going through very hard times. There are third forces which want to break India, those who want to bleed India. So ultimately we are going to support them. We are going to add to those forces. Those who are anti-India, those who conspire against India. So as a state machinery, any government, it is a BJP government or it is the opposition, everybody has a simple responsibility in very simple words, that you are a law implementing agency and you must not have any bias. And if you are having any bias, so you are going to destroy this democracy.
And you
are going to destroy the fabric of this country, the social fabric of this country, and this is what has happened in both the cases.
This blind.
Yes, Niranjan.
Yeah, this blind.
Can I come in?
Yeah, 1 minute. Just before you come in, I want to go across to Dr. Piyush Joshi. He hasn't spoken, but just before I toss to him, I want to show you some pictures. Okay. Before I play the tape, I'll show you some pictures and I'll hand it over to Dr. Piyush Joshi. They're calling it a blind case. Vijay Krishna here calls himself a Shiv Sainik. And he says it was a blind case. Look at the blind case. In a blind case, there are 10 CCTV videos. Let me show you now, Vijay Krishna. 10 CCTV videos in a blind case. And hundreds of chats. Can I show you the CCTV videos one by one? Let's show them. Sequence 1 to sequence 10. Look at this. This is sequence 1 in a blind case where a victim, Umesh Kole, is seen leaving at the end of the day, wraps up his business. He's leaving in a bike. His son and wife are trailing him. Okay? Blind case CCTV 1, blind case CCTV 2. Let's show you blind case CCTV 2. Blind case CCTV 2, the accused are waiting for Kole in a corner, okay, 2 of them, and they run behind him. They chase him into a dark street. Blind case CCTV number 3. Let's show you CCTV number 3. The attack is spotted from a distance, okay, where you can see that they are stabbing him in the neck. Blind case CCTV number 3. Let me show you blind case CCTV number 4. This is blind case CCTV number 4 where the attackers are seen fleeing from a site. Fleeing, look at them. Fleeing, running, not 1, not 2, 3 of them. Blind case. Let's show you blind case sequence number 5. In blind case sequence number 5, the attackers are seen on a motorcycle getting ready, hovering around the area. There are 3 of them. At one point, they go triple riding in a bike and they're just standing there, standing in that exact same spot. Okay, let's show you blind case sequence number 6. Blind case sequence number 6, there are multiple visuals of the murder sequence of how Umesh was, pinned down and stabbed in the neck. Let's show you blind case sequence number 7. Blind case sequence number 7, look at that, where they are seen stabbing him in front of his wife and son. Stabbing and then running away. Stab him until he's dead and they run away. Umesh Kole, a chemist, okay? And blind case sequence number 8. Let me show you blind case sequence number 8 as well if I have that, right? In this you can see how they flee from that spot. Blind case, okay? Now there are 8 sequences, I have more. But for now I think 8 suffices. Dr. Piyush Joshi, do you buy the blind case, example and it's sort of argument that people like Vijay Krishna are giving?
No, I don't. Basically, the things are very clear that there is an ongoing radicalization which is brewing, and it is happening on both the sides. So, and it is basically sectarianism and not religion which is responsible for this kind of behavior. We have seen in the past that including the statement by Nupur Sharma and the way it has been delivered and with the aggression with which it has been delivered, there needs to be a cooling off phenomena which needs to be instituted in place straight away. Prime Minister should appeal for calm on both sides, to all the religious leaders should appeal for calm. It is definitely, and there should be an NIA investigation which should take place. All the facets should be investigated properly by NIA. Surveillance has to be increased by the law enforcement agencies, and we all have to be more vigilant. But however, one very important point which I must make, because I'm basically very disturbed with this kind of killing, and even I was disturbed when Pelukan was lynched as well. So there has to be reduction of radicalization. It is now upon us, all of us. We should appeal for calm, we should appeal for peace, and we should be vigilant, including the intelligence agencies. And we should be very, very careful while making statements. We should be very, very careful while passing general statements. And we should be very, very careful, because we are sitting on the pile of gasoline or something, and it can blast any moment.
Yeah.
So there has to be cooling down measures instituted in place. I appeal to the Prime Minister, I appeal to the Home Minister, I appeal to all religious leaders belonging to all religion, that they should appeal for calm and peace. Because at the end of the day, it is peace of the country which is very, very important. And as far as the Uddhav government hiding the facts or not hiding the facts is concerned, I'm least bothered about that. I just don't care whether the governments try to hide facts, whether the governments try or whether the governments were clear upfront. Basically, the country needs to, the fire needs to be doused, and someone has to own the mantle about it.
Yeah, but
and we have to douse the fire.
Niranjan, can I
yes,
ask
you can
something?
respond. You can respond, but don't be in denial on radicalization, Majid. Don't give some other argument. Don't be in denial. I'll get Sujata and Sangeet Ragi. Yeah.
Yes, I'm coming to that only. In how many cases of lynching in the past did we have an NIA probe? That is my first point. And second point is how to end this turmoil, how to end this hatred from all the sides. The simple solution, as I have been saying, is bring in blasphemy laws which will be applicable on all the religions, be it Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, because what happened in October in the Singhu border? Our Sikh brothers felt offended because of somebody's hate remarks and he got beheaded. So unless we have strict laws of blasphemy, because that is what most of the religions in the world demand.
Majid, but you're the same guy who came and said you defend Zubair.
Feel hurt.
No, you're the same guy who came and defended Zubair.
Brothers get offended by somebody's
one minute. You're the same guy. 1 minute. You're the same guy who defended Zubair also, no? You defended
Zubair has been Zubair was working on the idea of being a Satyavadi.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. See, this is where you get into dangerous territory. You're getting into dangerous territory, Majid, you're getting into dangerous territory. I don't want to repeat what he's done.
Fact checker is about being a Satyavadi.
I am not talking about his fact checker. He himself. 1 minute.
He was a Satyavadi.
1 minute. You're getting into a dangerous territory because even remotely, are you telling me you back his posts? I can pull out 8 posts and show you. But it will embarrass you. Where he's mocked Mahabharata, he's mocked Lord Ram, he's mocked Shivling. Don't get into that territory. Don't. You can't have it both ways. Talk about blasphemy, but no. I'll let Sujata and Sangeet Ragi come in. Sujata is responding to
for the last so many years, nobody reacted against it.
Coming on TV and having double standards of blasphemy and secularism is one thing. Another thing is to address the core issue. Today we are facing 2 core issues. One is that today a Hindu or anybody for that matter, one who is vocal and one who speaks his mind, can be killed for exercising their most fundamental right, which is right to expression. And this continues one after another because those who are doing it are radicalized. One who knows that they will always find sympathizers in the name of vote bank politics and appeasement.
Madam, we believe in the idea of Lakshman Rekha.
Today, time has
Your
come
freedom
when
of expression cannot be at the cost of hurting somebody's religious sentiments.
On the hate arising for the non-believers from these Abrahamic and Arabic cults. We need to know that what is the law. I mean, does a Sharia law need to exist when we want to go for a progressive India, or do we want to go for a regressive India?
Sujata, I haven't heard. Sujata, taking off from your point. I haven't heard. And taking off from what Piyush Joshi also said, let me get him also on the screen, right? It is true that there is a communally charged atmosphere, okay? And all of us have to be responsible. But we should also at the same time admit that there are areas where we must address concerns, and also as a society, I think it won't harm anyone if everyone steps forward. No, I haven't seen the same political parties and leaders who often make provocative statements come forward and tell everyone not to get violent. I didn't.
Absolutely.
Right? I haven't seen anyone. Dr. Piyush Joshi is fantastic. You come and say there's a need for everybody to step forward and say calm things down. Yes, we must calm things down. And why does it have to take only the Prime Minister? You're saying the Prime Minister should speak. Why the Prime Minister? Why can't everyone? Every political party.
Yes.
Right? Why can't they come forward? Piyush Joshi, Dr. Piyush Joshi and Sangeet Ragi.
A tweet like how Rahul Gandhi did a tweet in favor of Tripura violence, did a tweet in for Udaipur? No, he kept quiet. Where is the tweet for Amravati? He kept quiet. Where is Sonia Gandhi? Where is NCP? Where is Congress? I mean, all these people who are the crusaders of the free speech and secularism, where are they hiding now? Why is the Lutein lobby so silent over this? Is there not an attempt to normalize and rationalize even slitting of throat? Are we going to rationalize even terrorism? Are we going to rationalize
Dr.
even
Piyush Joshi is coming in.
Come on. It's time for our country, not for politics.
What I actually said, because Prime Minister is the leader of the nation. Prime Minister is the supreme constitutional, holds the supreme constitutional post in this country, and his appeal has a more wide effect. Now, what I said in my previous statement as well, that not only the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and each and every person, including the religious leaders, opposition leaders, we all should appeal for calm. It is very important, each and every one of us. And not only that, I'll go one step further, because even in this debate, what we are seeing pro-party environment or a pro-religious environment. Someone is speaking for Hindu, someone is speaking for Muslim, someone is speaking for Sikhism. When will we start speaking for humanity in general? Because at the end of the day, it is very important that a communally charged environment is actually, is doused, is actually reduced. A reduction in radicalization can only be achieved if we appeal for calm, and there can be no progress in a communally charged atmosphere. So this is very important. And of course, the intelligence agencies have to be vigilant. And at the end of the day, we have a new government in Maharashtra, whether it calls CBI or NIA, it is under their jurisdiction. They are free to invite any agency they want. So at the end of the day, all I am asking for is an appeal for calm all around. Let it be opposition, government, religious leaders, everyone should appeal for calm. It's very important.
Yeah, Sangeet Ragi.
Niranjan, I hope you haven't called me in your program to do pravachan or to make an appeal to the people of this country to maintain calmness. I hope that I have been invited here to interpret and analyze the phenomena of radicalization in this country. Number one, let us understand this, that the blasphemy law exists in 54 Islamic countries. That means that there is the punishment for saying anything against Prophet is something which is not un-Islamic. Number one. Here in case of India, Sartan se juda is unconstitutional. But to say that this is not the interpretation of, it is not in consonance with the interpretation of Islam, I would disagree. Because this is the pattern which you find in case of Iraq. This is the thing which exists in Syria. This is the things which exist in Egypt. This is the thing which exists in Pakistan. This is the thing which exists in Afghanistan. So after all, what I am saying, that there is a kind of interpretation of Islam, Bahavism cult of Islam, Tablighi cult of Islam, or Deoband cult of Islam, which doesn't involve all Islam followers of Islam. That is the cult which is creating this kind of mindset among the followers of Islam. Not all followers, but those who follow. Why don't you find any Shias exploding bombs in India? Why they are not involved in such kind of activities? You will not find it. It is the rarest of the rare. So what I am suggesting that It is the theology which is propagating the hate. And unfortunately, this theology is working as an ideology where you have a conceptual understanding that we have to convert this country into, it is a Darul Haram, we have to convert into, create the psyche of fear among those for whom we are kafirs.
No, but
and
I'll
we against whom
Sangeet Ragi,
for 600 years Muslims ruled this country.
No, one minute.
There was no complaints against those rulers.
No, I don't want to get into history.
Don't blame any religion,
Majid, let's not get into history.
India being
No, let's not get into history. Let's not get into. No, I don't want to get into history. Please, I don't want to get into history. I don't want to get into history. Okay, I don't want to get into history. But radicalization is real. If you are still in denial about it, there is another comment that came in today from another, I don't know, some Chisti guy who said that you behead Nupur Sharma and then I'll give you my house or something like that. I mean, it's insane. Nobody says anything about that. Can you imagine if that comment came from somewhere else? One minute, Majid. No, Majid, why don't we admit that it is a problem, radicalization is a problem? And you know what, actually, before I get your responses, I want you to listen to this tape. This is a tape, okay, where Priyanka, my colleagues, Sangeet Ragi, 1 minute. Sangeet Ragi, 1 minute.
I want to add 10
Listen to this tape. I want you to listen to this tape.
10 seconds.
Okay, quickly, I want to play the tape. Yeah, okay, let me play the tape. Here's the tape. Priyanka spoke to Shakil. Shakil is one of the people who made the calls to Umesh Kole days before he was murdered, okay? And you will be shocked, not one call, not two calls, 40 calls. 40 calls. And I think we will get into the bottom of whether he made a police complaint, how far this goes, but this is extremely serious. Listen into this.
आप सबका नंबर वगैरह भी घूम रहा था कि क्या कहते हैं जो वीडियो वगैरह बनवाए हैं ना,
हाँ,
ये प्रेशर वगैरह डाल के बनवाए गए थे और ये खाली एक्चुअली पॉलिटिकल कंस्पिरेसी था, अनिल बोंडे का नाम आ रहा है इसमें।
नहीं मैडम, कैसा हमको किसी ने बोला नहीं यार, उसके आइडिया नहीं है। कैसा हम दोस्त ऐसी 1-2 जने जैसा चौक पे थे, तो ऐसी एक्चुअली जैसे सभी ने कॉल किए, मैंने नहीं किए। जैसे अमरावती शहर से अपने 30-40 लोगों ने फोन लगाए थे बोलते।
हाँ,
तो एक्चुअली मेरे मोबाइल से ये गलती हो गई कि जैसे मैंने मेरे मोबाइल से फोन लगा के ये बोल दिया,
हाँ,
क्या भाई आपने जो धर्म के खिलाफ जो स्टेटस रखे थे, मैंने बोला
हाँ,
तो वो कैसा निकाल दो। मैंने बोला कैसा इससे जातिवादी वातावरण थोड़ा सा खराब हो सकता। मैंने बोला जैसा नक्शा नक्की आ सकती है ना हिंदू मुसलमान में ऐसे रखेंगे तो।
तो ये हाँ बोलिए।
तो मैंने बोला ये जैसा निकाल दो आप। मैंने बोला तो मेरे दोस्त ने ले लिया, दूसरे फिर तीसरे दोस्त ने ले लिया था, ऐसी हो गया था मैडम।
अच्छा, तो आपके साथ में फिर दूसरे लोग थे, क्योंकि ऐसे बहुत सारे नंबर्स आ रहे थे कि उनसे फोन जा रहे थे वगैरह।
नहीं मैडम, नहीं, इसी मैंने खाली मेरे मोबाइल से लगा के बोल दिया था जैसा।
अच्छा,
बाकी के तो लोगों को मालूम नहीं था। बाकी के लोगों को फिर तो मैंने जैसे टीवी पे देखा कि वो जैसे अमरावती शहर से जैसे 30-40 लोगों ने फोन लगाए थे करके।
अच्छा, तो कितने लोग थे आपके साथ में फिर?
क्या बोले मैडम?
कितने लोग थे आपके साथ में? आपने बोला बहुत सारे लोगों ने फिर वो कॉल करके उनको बोला ना माफीनामा मांगने के लिए वगैरह।
नहीं, उनकी तो आइडिया नहीं, मैंने टीवी पे देखा हूँ मैडम, टीवी पे बताया ना।
अच्छा, क्या बताया है?
टीवी पे बताया है कि जैसा भाई और कोई जैसे लोग है करके, जैसे उनको धमकी दे रहे थे 30-40 लोगों के, जैसे उनको कॉल रहते फोन रहते।
नहीं, ये तो उसमें ऐसे शब्द भी यूज किए ना कि धर्म के नाम पे काट देंगे वगैरह वगैरह, ऐसे सारे वो भी रिकॉर्डिंग वगैरह आए हैं।
नहीं मैडम, धर्म के नाम पे काट देंगे ऐसा नहीं बोले थे। ऐसा बोले थे कि जैसा हमारे इस्लाम तक के आएंगे तो हम हमारी गर्दन काटने को भी नहीं डरते।
अच्छा,
जैसा उन्होंने खुद की बोला था, जैसे दूसरे की ने बोला था मैम।
अच्छा।
हाँ. So even in this case, I mean, you're liable for a social media post, and yes, we have laws in this country, right? In the Udaipur case, let me tell you the most shocking aspect, Majid, is in the Udaipur case, Kanhaiya Lal wrote a complaint to the police saying, I don't know how to use a smartphone. My children took the phone from me. They were using my phone. They were playing a game, and they may have posted something on social media by mistake. I got threat calls. People came to my shop. They took my phone. They asked me to delete the post, etc. All of that happened, and then immediately before I knew it, I was called to the police station, right? And he said people started wrecking my shop, and before you know it, he's killed. In this case, listen, Majid, in this case, and that's the most shocking aspect. I'll tell you, even as a journalist, you know, when we see such stories, it sends a shiver down our spine that, you know, that you can be killed like this over a post. Yes, you have to be responsible, but somewhere you have to draw the line, and I think that's why, Majid, it becomes important on all of us. All of us.
Niranjan, let me first
to fight radicalization.
Very recently, our Honorable National Security Advisor said that every individual Indian cannot be provided separate security, individual security. That is not possible. Now, coming to this, see, whether you call it indoctrination or ideology of hate.
But in the case of, okay, for example, in the case of Kanhaiya Lal, he filed a police complaint. His last word in that police complaint was, save me. He said, save me. You tell me. They sat him down over a table and then brokered peace.
Can I add?
So tell me, in that case, who was supposed to give him security?
Indoctrination or this ideology of hate is becoming so strong that we are casting aspersions over honorable Supreme Court judges.
No, nobody is casting any aspersions. No, Majid, nobody has cast aspersions. I take objection.
What is that?
I take objection. Majid, I take objection. I take objection, Majid. Majid, I take objection. At this point, I take objection. Majid, I take objection. Nobody is casting this. 1 minute. Majid, I take objection to what you... No.
You are questioning permission.
No, you can speak. No, I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak, but it's... No, I'll let you speak, but it's my duty to come in and correct you. Nobody's casting aspersions on the Supreme Court. It's my duty to correct you. Nobody's casting aspersions.
The letter is all about hate.
It's not on this channel. Now, 1 minute. You know, people can have their personal opinions and everybody has a right to their opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion, Majid.
I'm concerned about my country.
Majid, everybody has a right to...
How dare anybody speak?
No, Majid, everybody has a right to their opinion. I don't understand what's the problem. Everybody has a right to their opinion. Whether they...
You can't have right to opinion about Supreme Court.
No. I'm not talking about Supreme Court. I'm not talking about Supreme Court. I'm talking about...
Which is single-handedly responsible.
No, I'm not talking about that. So, Binay Singh wants to come in. Binay and Dr. Piyush Joshi. Yeah. Okay, Sujata and Binay. Okay.
Just, I have only one question and I will be quick. Just ask him that will there be or should there be a law against for people calling Sartan se juda or no?
Yes, there should be.
Does he support?
Yes, definitely there should be a law. Definitely it should come under sections of the blasphemy law. Why shouldn't there be a law? There must be a law. We need.
Okay, can I just pause? Can I just? Binay hasn't spoken. Binay, I'll bring in Binay and Vijay Krishna. 1 minute. Sujata, I'll bring in Binay. I'll bring in Binay and Vijay Krishna. But 20 seconds. I have to take exactly 20-second break. Okay, 20 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Exactly 20 seconds. Okay, 20 seconds. Just catch your breath. 20 seconds.
Where the software engineer meets the smart market analyst to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है, पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाइट क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
After attempts from the Lashkar-e-Toiba to carry out major strike in Poonch, Rajouri and Resai, Jammu and Kashmir's Director General of Police Dilbag Singh has said that adequate security arrangements are in place for the Amarnath Yatra, which is progressing.
Back on the debate, Binay Singh wanted to come in. Binay Singh and Vijay Krishna.
Niranjan, radicalization at its base, you know, it converts into or it results into terrorism. And let me make it clear. Terrorism is of two types. Several types of terrorism are there. The one type is bullet terrorism, in which you use violence, you are cutting someone's throat. The other one is intellectual terrorism. So you use your intellectual expertise, your knowledge skills as a weapon to shield some terrorist activity. And you know, the one example I am giving you. On one hand, Majid Hydari, he is not generous enough to discount Nupur Sharma that okay, she has also the right to expression. On the other hand, he shields this Zubair, whose post instigated two murders in two different states. he is shielding him that he has only the right to exercise the right to expression.
He called him a Satyavad, I think.
This double standard. This double standard to seal or to aid
but sir, I'll tell you something. He mocked the shivling. I don't know whether you're aware. And I'll tell you what happens also. Majid, I'll tell you also what happens is, you have to be aware of the facts, Majid. Majid, I'm not sure whether you're aware, but he even mocked the shivling. Okay, so you have to be extremely careful. You need to be aware and read up.
I will not stand by any such.
Exactly. So how are you calling him Satyavad, etc.? Anyway, I'll let Vijay Krishna come in.
Be it Zubair or be it Tukur.
Vijay Krishna is coming in. Yes, Vijay. Do you think?
May I come in? I've been listening very patiently. I would like to congratulate the 10 CCTV footages you showed. I'm saying those CCTV footages only is a piece of evidence that shows the commitment of a crime. A crime has been committed. So what I'm saying is that why don't you give benefit of doubt to the Amravati police? If you are really concerned about their honesty,
why don't you give the benefit of the doubt to the victim?
Let all the policemen not only suspended. There should be.
No, first you tell me you still believe it's a blind case.
A sedition case, because I strictly believe this is an act of terror. There is no doubt. Uddhav Thackeray ji, Shiv Sena condemns this Islamic terrorism and stands by the family of Umesh Kolhe ji.
No, terrorism doesn't have any religion. One minute. Don't. No. 1 minute. First of all, you said something like 1 minute. You said something. Vijay, you said something. 1 minute, Vijay. You called it Islamic terrorism. Take that back. Take that back. Okay? Terrorism doesn't have a religion. Okay, fine. You don't have to make such comments. Okay, but let me ask you something. You said it's a blind case. After seeing the footage, will you still call it a blind case? Or are you seeing it through tinted glass? Tell me.
I'm again reiterating the same thing. This only provides the evidence, but the Amravati police face problems with regard to tracing out the causes of murder. And after taking sufficient time, they were decided to reveal the causes for murder. And they were also wary of untoward incidents, but I am saying they should have been honest. And I always take the announcement made by Amravati Commission.
Good to see you've done a U-turn on the show.
So why Eknath Shinde ji has set up?
Good to see you've done a U-turn on the show. U-turn.
Perhaps he's not aware that the police said, the IPS rank officer said that since a written complaint wasn't
Sangeet, you can speak when you can take off from Sujata.
Was not lodged. This is against law. Because when 30-40 calls were being made, people of Amravati were aware that there are certain radicalized WhatsApp groups are active and people are getting threat calls. People are getting calls for beheading. People should have taken action. Another similarity I would like to draw is that the police first tried to cover up in both the cases, both in Amravati and in Udaipur, and then it only came later that it was because of the radicalized elements in the society.
Yeah.
Also,
Sangeet Ragi wants to come in.
You cannot just rule out and give police a clean check. It's just not possible.
Sangeet Ragi.
Niranjan.
Yeah.
Niranjan, police always look at the political master before it acts. If police know that the political master has this kind of mindset, it will act accordingly.
UP, yes.
You have seen in Maharashtra,
forgotten Palgad, Majid
acted against the
Majid is forgotten Palgad.
He's got selective memory.
Number two, Niranjan, it is important, Niranjan, it is important. The 16-year friendship between the two fellows, the religion had an overriding priority. The interpretation of religion. It is not that it has happened here only, Niranjan. It happened in case of Bhagalpur riots also, where a teacher allowed the killing of his students in Bhagalpur riots. And all.
I lost your audio there, Sangeet Ragi. Sangeet, I just lost your audio there, Sangeet Ragi. For some, I think I just lost your audio there in the last few seconds.
Today, Niranjan,
I'll just fix that audio.
Just adding,
I'll fix that audio.
Today,
Your audio.
Niranjan,
I'll just fix that audio. Yeah, Sujata incoming. Yeah.
We don't know. You don't know that who's making you as their next potential target. It can be your neighbor, it can be your known person, it can be your friend, it can be a completely a stranger.
No, but what it also tells you is
it can be a so that's the point.
It is all linked to the ideology which Honorable Supreme Court has stamped.
That there is a
The case is
radicalization in the
dismissed.
society
Thank you.
and that exists from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. We must accept we cannot be living like an ostrich, you know. We have to accept this, that because of the vote bank politics, because of the appeasement politics, there a section of the society has been
essentially because of the ideology which Honorable Supreme Court has stamped as being single-handed.
Piyush Joshi, Dr. Piyush Joshi has his hands up there. Dr. Piyush Joshi has his hands up. Dr. Piyush Joshi, the most... No. 1 minute. Let's not... 1 minute. You know, Dr. Piyush Joshi, the most shocking aspect, and I think Sangeet Ragi hinted at it a little bit when he spoke last. You know, the tape, my colleague Priyanka spoke to a doctor. He wanted to speak on the condition of anonymity. And he said that one of the accused, he was very, very good friends with Umesh. And he says he gave up Umesh's details to the mastermind eventually. Those who would go on to kill him. And that tells you how dangerous the situation is. And we believe that, yes, things should calm down, but everyone should step forward and do their bit. Dr. Piyush Joshi, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, if that has happened, that a friend has given details for the ultimate terror plot to be committed, then it is very, very unfortunate. But I think because NIA is looking after the case, so all the details will emerge in their true colors. What I am just appealing, and Mr. Sangeet Ragi can always say that it is pravachan and everything, but what the kind of statements that they are making, it is going to create mass hysteria. You cannot trust anyone. You cannot, like, if we keep on passing statements like this, that who's plotting which attack where, we never know how long are we going to live. So should we stop driving? Should we stop riding a motorbike? Should we stop walking out on road? We should not, you know, because we have to ultimately trust each other. We live together. And I just, you know, we have what Mr. Daghi has said about all the sects of Islam. What has happened in Punjab? What has happened in Punjab? You know, ultimately we are living in an environment where our beliefs are hurt so easily. So we have to
Can I tell you something? There are
entirely different stories.
Just as a programming announcement, Sangeet Ragi and Vinay Singh.
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. Okay. Complete your point. I have to take a break. Quickly, 10 seconds. Complete your point, Sangeet Ragi. I'll take a break after that.
Niranjan, my limited point is that the interpretation of religion had an overriding priority over the friendship of 16 years.
Yeah.
This is a pattern which you don't see only in Amravati. It has happened in case of Kashmir also.
Okay, we'll debate it another day, Sangeet Ragi. Only because I have to take a short break. Only because I have to take a short break. Programming announcement, we have much more explosive tapes coming up as part of our Amravati investigation coming up on Wednesday. Stay tuned. And thanks for watching.